Here's what you missed in the last 11 hours. You had 15 videos worth catching up on, covering everything from database architecture and Steam controller reviews to enterprise AI deployment and the latest electric vehicle releases from China. Starting with the technical fundamentals, RJ McCandless delivered a really solid deep dive into database selection that he clearly positioned as solving real confusion he encounters in the field. McCandless was confident and matter-of-fact throughout, drawing on his experience building a graph database as an Amazon intern and his current consulting work. His core message was simple but important. Default to relational databases most of the time because most data is relational, ACID properties are valuable, and they offer great query flexibility. He walked through 6 database types, systematically relational databases like Postgres and MySQL function, like spreadsheets with excellent performance on indexed columns, but predictable bottlenecks around connection limits and row locking. Key value stores like DynamoDB are basically giant hash maps that excel at speed, but struggle with anything beyond single-key lookups. Wide column databases are underappreciated despite powering major systems, ideal for heavy write workloads, but requiring careful attention to access patterns. Object storage like S3 is stupidly simple file storage that you should never scan, always access by exact key. Vector databases are highly specialized for similarity search in RAG applications, while graph databases are only worth it when relationships are the core product feature, like LinkedIn's connection features. His practical advice was refreshingly direct. Consider alternatives to relational databases only for specific scenarios like extreme speed requirements, massive write volumes, or core relationship-based products. Moving to gaming hardware, Linus gave a balanced but ultimately cautious review of Valve's new Steam controller. He was genuinely excited about the innovative features, particularly getting fired up about gyro aiming capabilities, calling it such a freaking hack, and demonstrating how you could play an RTS like Anno from the couch using the trackpads. Linus praised the TMR joysticks as probably the best hidden feature. These use tunnel magnetoresistance technology instead of traditional potentiometer or Hall effect sensors, providing precision and reliability without the power draw issues. The haptic trackpads are Valve's best yet, and the wireless charging solution is elegant with the dongle doubling as a magnetic charging dock. He tested extensively and found excellent input latency performance and impressive 37-hour battery life. However, Linus became notably more critical when discussing the $100 price point. While appreciating Valve's engineering investment, he felt the build quality was lacking compared to first-party controllers, with cheap-feeling plastic and ergonomic issues. David from his team was even more direct, saying he'd buy immediately at $60, wait 2 weeks at $80, but is completely out at $100. Linus's final take was that die-hard original Steam controller fans should open their wallets immediately, but mainstream consumers might find it something of an enigma given the pricing versus traditional controller alternatives. On the Apple front, Max Tech provided a comprehensive iPad buying guide for 2026 that was refreshingly opinionated. He was genuinely enthusiastic about the iPad mini, calling it his favorite across the entire lineup, perfect for couch use and gaming where touchscreen controls work well with the smaller form factor. The A17 Pro chip provides much faster graphics performance than the A16, supports ray tracing, and enables Apple Intelligence. At the other extreme, he strongly endorsed both 11-inch and 13-inch M5 iPad Pro models as recently updated options featuring blazing fast performance, tandem OLED displays with perfect blacks, 120Hz ProMotion, and the best Apple Pencil Pro experience. However, he was notably frustrated with the iPad Air, calling it his least favorite despite the recent M4 chip update. The problem is the mismatch between the absolutely crazy performance and the 60Hz display that prevents taking full advantage. Games can easily hit 60 FPS, but you wish for ProMotion to enable smoother performance. His buying recommendations were clear. If purchasing immediately, choose either the budget iPad A16 at $349 or the M5 iPad Pro depending on budget. But if you can wait, Definitely hold off for the OLED iPad mini, expected in September or October 2026 with an A19 Pro chip. Or even longer for the OLED iPad Air, coming at the end of 2027. Speaking of design innovation, Lope Gutierrez-Ruiz delivered a passionate TED Talk about combating design homogenization that felt urgent and actionable. Working between Austin and Barcelona, he was clearly frustrated with how globalized design trends are making everything look the same identical color palettes, ubiquitous 70s revival typography, repetitive illustration styles everywhere. His solution centers on 3 practical ideas. First, truly embracing collaboration with people from genuinely different backgrounds and lifestyles. His studio's 3 partners, a journalist, philosopher, and DJ, couldn't be more different, and they encourage staff to immerse in different visual cultures and live wherever they want. Second, research solutions in adjacent fields rather than obvious ones. They approach every data visualization project as an animation project, and every editorial project as branding exploration. He demonstrated this with an MIT protein sequence poster, where instead of focusing on legibility, they created a stunning font that included additional information about the sequence itself. Third, be additive and think about your future self. Build a life that enables bold choices you can build upon over time, rather than believing you can accomplish extraordinary things in one big push. Their 100 Points exhibition proved this approach works, featuring 4,000 square feet of graphic design from 4 cities presented in ways that opposed typical museum conventions. Everything was 3-dimensional, interactive, and touchable. The result broke attendance records and proved they could move beyond just doing things that are different to doing things that are wonderful. Shifting to the AI revolution's impact on careers, Bugo delivered a confident analysis arguing that programming is dead, but software engineering is more lucrative than ever. Speaking from his background as a former software engineering manager, making $250,000 annually, who quit on November 30th, 2022, when ChatGPT launched to build OB Analytics, his B2B AI consulting firm, he made a critical distinction. AI can build boilerplate code faster and better than humans, and even non-technical founders are successfully building applications using tools like Cloud Code and Lovable. However, the real opportunity has shifted from 9-to-5 jobs to entrepreneurship, where the value lies in connecting technical solutions to non-technical business problems. As coding becomes commoditized, the world needs software engineers who can fundamentally bridge the technical and non-technical worlds. He used his own firm as an example. While AI does most of their fulfillment work and he rarely codes, his value comes from explaining concepts and providing solutions that non-technical clients can't get from regular Fiverr developers, who have been largely replaced. His message was urgent. Software engineers shouldn't pursue traditional 9-to-5 jobs anymore, but should tailor their skills toward the B2B market. He positioned entrepreneurship as less risky than traditional employment in current times, arguing that any software engineer with a few years of experience is ready to jump into building businesses focused on providing technical solutions with minimal friction to non-technical people. On a related note, Manolo Remidi was genuinely excited about recent AI developments that he believes are turning the cost-performance landscape upside down. Last week was particularly insane with multiple major model releases, including DeepSeek version 4 Pro and Flash, with 1.6 trillion parameters, offering comparable results at $3.48 per million tokens, 8 times cheaper than competitors. The real drama centered on Opus 4.7's release, which Anthropic positioned as their boutique, super powerful AI. But just 4 days later, GPT 5.5 completely outperformed it while being faster and cheaper. Manolo broke down the complex pricing dynamics, explaining that, while GPT 5.5 costs $30 per million tokens compared to the previous version's $15, the new model uses less than half the tokens to achieve better results, making it effectively cheaper. The key insight is that local deployment changes everything for certain use cases. While requiring significant hardware investment of probably $25,000 minimum, once you have that set up, you achieve total sovereignty with unlimited tokens, multiple AI instances, and complete data control. This is crucial for corporations in law, education, health, and financial services where data legally cannot leave their premises. He advocated for a hybrid approach as a transition strategy toward total local AI sovereignty, introducing his community-owned Resonant OS as an AI operating system that anyone can co-own and customize, creating one solid alternative to corporate AI that can be collectively improved and controlled by users. Diving deeper into AI model developments, Cassidy Hardin from Google DeepMind announced Gemma 4 with genuine excitement, particularly proud that the 31B model ranked number 3 on the AI leaderboard, while outperforming models over 20 times its size. The family consists of 4 models, 2 smaller effective models designed for on-device applications that can run locally on phones and laptops, and 2 larger models including the first-ever Gemma MOE and a 31B dense model. A major announcement was the shift to Apache 2 licensing, deliberately chosen to make models more accessible for developers throughout their entire development lifecycle. Hardin dove into impressive architectural improvements, including interleaved local and global attention with a 5:1 ratio, grouped query attention for memory efficiency, and per-layer embeddings for the effective models that achieve efficiency by storing smaller 256-dimension embeddings in flash memory rather than VRAM. For multimodality, they introduced variable aspect ratios and resolutions across 5 different settings, with users able to select token budgets allocated to images, critical for balancing performance with efficiency. High-resolution tasks like OCR benefit from higher token budgets, while text-focused applications can use lower budgets. The effective models also support audio through a 35 million parameter conformer architecture. All models are accessible through self-hosting via Hugging Face, Kaggle, and Llama, plus cloud hosting through AI Studio and Vertex for immediate prototyping and agentic workflows. From the enterprise deployment side, Sam Morrow from GitHub shared hard-won lessons from scaling their MCP server over the past year, now serving over 7 million tool calls weekly. Sam was refreshingly honest about real-world challenges, particularly frustrated that users ignored configuration options despite his team's elegant solutions for tool grouping and dynamic selection. The fundamental problem they discovered was that more tools don't make better agents. They make them confused and forgetful. After accumulating over 100 tools, agents actually got worse at using GitHub because context windows were getting blown out. They solved this by focusing on context reduction, cutting it by 49% initially, and then further through CRUD tool grouping, while achieving over 95% tool success rates by encoding agent intent into their tool surface and handling complexity server-side. Security emerged as a constant challenge, with users storing plain text access tokens, where agents can access them tokens that are frequently long-lived and overprivileged. GitHub embraced remote HTTP with OAuth 2.1 to make secure connections the path of least resistance, even helping add PKCE support to GitHub's authorization server. Their architecture runs completely stateless servers using RIDIs for session storage, creating a brand new server instance for every request rather than struggling with singular stateful processes. Looking forward, Sam expects server discovery to become automatic and tool use more compositional, with thousands of tools potentially becoming normal as current limitations get solved. Continuing the enterprise theme, Karan Sampath from Anthropic argued passionately that enterprises need MCP gateways as a centralized trust layer to solve the three-headed hydra of problems preventing scaled MCP deployment: observability, access control, and security. Currently, teams can develop MCPs thanks to widespread coding capabilities, but they can't get them deployed due to security team bottlenecks and access control challenges. While acknowledging the MCP registry is useful, Sampath emphasized it doesn't handle authentication, access control, observability, and credential management, all critical enterprise needs. His key insight was about establishing a root of trust. When almost all teams can build MCP servers using coding agents, security teams need to bless one platform rather than reviewing every individual server. A gateway serves as a middleman between numerous MCP servers and any MCP client, providing authorization, authentication, observability, secure connectivity, and easy hosting. This enables several free lunches, easy addition of new surfaces, more secured connections, faster iteration without repeated security reviews, standard primitives encoding enterprise procedures, pluggable credentials, and scalability from tens to hundreds of thousands of agents. Sampath wants to separate agent harnesses from data layers, allowing enterprises to connect to Claude-managed agents or build internally while keeping gateway investment constant. His vision is users won't need to know what MCP is, they'll simply convey intentions while OAuth setup and tool selection become autonomous. Shifting to marketing in the AI era, SkillLeap AI introduced HubSpot's new AEO tool with genuine enthusiasm about its potential impact. The presenter explained that AI tools are fundamentally changing how people search, with users increasingly asking ChatGPT and Gemini for recommendations rather than using traditional Google searches. This shift has caused significant traffic drops for many brands, but those who do get found through AI tools see 3 times higher conversion rates. The challenge is that AI conversations are a black box for most marketers. AEO differs from traditional SEO by focusing on mentions, citations, share of voice, and how AI tools describe your brand across platforms. HubSpot's tool provides 5 key features: brand visibility scoring, prompt tracking that analyzes your brand and suggests relevant monitoring queries, visibility and sentiment monitoring with personalized recommendations, citation analysis showing where AI tools source information, and competitor comparison. In the live demonstration, his brand Futuropedia achieved a 66% brand visibility score with highly positive sentiment. The citations page revealed content type breakdowns, showing listicles appeared most frequently in successful citations, leading to specific content recommendations. The tool costs $50 monthly after a free trial and covers ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity essential platforms as AI-powered search continues growing. Moving to game development tools, Game from Scratch's Mike was genuinely excited about Godot 4.7 Beta's new area lights feature, calling it very cool and his favorite new improvement multiple times. The area lights functionality allows area light 3D nodes to project rectangular lights with textures, creating realistic lighting effects where a monitor's green glow actually illuminates the surrounding environment rather than just being an emissive texture. Beyond the standout area lights, the release includes numerous quality-of-life improvements that Mike clearly appreciated. Animation improvements include collapsible groups and await tweeners that wait for signals before tweening. Editor enhancements feature path 3D curve snapping to collision objects for easier NPC pathfinding, vertex snapping with the B key, and his personal favorite, the ability to copy entire groups of values like transform properties to paste on other objects. UI improvements include cleaner pop-up displays, better asset library interfaces with revision history, and a new 2D scene paint tool for easily painting scene instances. The built-in virtual joystick controls offer 3 modes: fixed, dynamic, and following. Physics improvements include one-way collision direction for 2D shapes. HDR support is now available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux BSD, though Mike personally dislikes HDR due to Windows implementation problems. The GDO shader previewer, formerly an add-on, is now built in C++, showing shader results line by line as you develop them. Turning to electric vehicles, the Electric Viking's Sam Evans was genuinely excited about Zeekr Australia's expansion, particularly the 7 GT electric wagon, which he called one of the best-looking cars ever. Zeekr is doubling their lineup from 3 to 6 models, adding the 7 GT electric wagon plus 2 ultra-powerful plug-in hybrid SUVs. The 7 GT, expected in late 2026, offers 2 powertrain options. A rear-wheel drive version with 370 kW estimated around $62,000 Australian dollars, and an all-wheel drive version with 585 kW priced around $73,000 that accelerates 0-100 km/h in 2.73 seconds. Faster than an Audi RS6, that costs over $220,000. Technical highlights include upgraded 900V architecture, 6C charging enabling 1080% charging in approximately 10 minutes at estimated 700 kW speeds, and range up to 905 km CLTC. The real showstoppers are the 8X and 9X plug-in hybrid SUVs featuring up to 1,030 kW total system power. That's 1,400 horsepower in family vehicles. The 8X tri-motor version accelerates 0-100 km/h in 2.96 seconds, unprecedented for a vehicle this size, while offering 410 km electric-only range and 1,416 km total combined range. Evans noted the charging capabilities are major differentiators compared to competitors like the new Audi S5 RS5 plug-in hybrid that costs nearly $200,000 but offers no DC charging capability whatsoever. Timeline expectations vary by model, with main constraints being conversion to right-hand drive and supply allocation given strong Chinese domestic demand. Speaking of powerful electric vehicles, Evans also covered Xiaomi's YU7 GT reveal, expressing measured amazement at the specifications. This is a 5-meter family SUV capable of 300 km/h speeds with 738 kW of power, more than most supercars. Evans was practical about questioning whether anyone needs such capabilities, sharing his personal experience that driving just over 200 km/h in a similar electric SUV felt scary, and expressing doubt about attempting 300 km/h. The vehicle features 24K carbon fiber construction, 22-inch Michelin wheels, Brembo carbon ceramic brakes essential for high-speed capability, and weighs 2,450 kilograms. The all-wheel drive system combines a 288 kW front motor with a 450 kW rear motor. Range is 705 km CLTC, estimated 59600 km WLTP, from a 100 kWh CATL battery pack. Expected pricing is approximately $65,000 US, which Evans characterized as incredibly good value. However, he was critical of the design priorities, noting that despite the large external dimensions, it has the interior space of a mid-size car due to styling choices, what he calls style over practicality. While he appreciates the cool design, he considers it impractical for family use. Despite his reservations, the market disagrees as evidenced by 300,000 pre-orders when it launched in China. The vehicle isn't available outside China currently, with global sales planned for 2027, though Evans suspects international availability won't occur until 2028. Finally, Level 1 Techs provided a pragmatic perspective on PC building in 2026 with their budget-focused gaming system using Intel's Core Ultra 7 270K+. The presenter was enthusiastic about finding deals, but clearly frustrated with current component pricing, calling this the worst time to buy upgrades. He demonstrated that solid 1080p and 1440p gaming performance doesn't require expensive new GPUs like the RTX 5090 by using a discounted RTX 4070 found at Walmart for $474. The build featured deliberately untuned DDR5 5200 memory to show worst-case performance, yet still achieved impressive gaming results. In Cyberpunk 2077, at 1080p, the 4070 achieved 157 FPS versus 201 FPS for RTX 5090 systems, a meaningful but not dramatic difference that doesn't justify spending 3 times more on a GPU. At 1440p, it managed 96 FPS, which he considers eminently playable. His practical advice was refreshingly direct. Those on 8th or 9th generation Intel should start with GPU upgrades first. AM4 users should consider CPU upgrades to something like a 5800X3D after GPU upgrades, but he strongly recommended against major upgrades during current market conditions. The Core Ultra 7 270K+ showed surprisingly stable DDR5 8000 performance and worked well with tower coolers since these Intel CPUs don't have much overclocking headroom. His message was clear. You can achieve solid gaming performance without breaking the bank, but the best strategy right now might be waiting for better market conditions. That's your complete rundown for the last 11 hours. The clear themes were AI reshaping both software engineering careers and enterprise infrastructure, while the hardware world delivered impressive innovations from gaming controllers to electric vehicle powertrains that would have been unimaginable just a few years ago.